Welcome back, kids. As we do after every competition, we are revising our training routine to fix some holes in our game and to prepare for some upcoming matches. Got a lot of big world level elite top rollers coming up, so we're gonna improve our top roll. Not that I plan to start offensively top rolling, but if you develop a good top roll, you can use it to defend against a top roll. We're also going to focus on developing more power in the straps, because if I know I have to pull top rollers, I like to get into the straps, stop that match, transition the match to my elbow. So we're going to try to push up a lot of big heavyweight numbers while pulling in the straps. And since we're doing that, we're going to need to do some extra work on the elbows. And we'll get to that in a second. First big change you'll see is on Sundays. We're going to stay with the deadlift, but we are moving our deadlift, no longer deadlifting from the floor, but we will be deadlifting off 2.5-inch blocks. As you recall from the last training routines, we hit 315 for 6 sets of 6 off the floor. I want to get 315 for 6 sets of 6 off the 2.5-inch blocks. We will then go back to floor deadlifts and work up to 405. The other change we're making to deadlift day, because I love deadlifting, is we were deadlifting off the floor. We're now going to deadlift off these 100-pound plates. These 100-pound plates are about 2.5 inches tall. So that in effect lowers the bar 2.5 inches, right? So it forces you to get down lower, which is where I'm bad at. I don't have the ankle flexibility, the back flexibility. But my deadlift will now start with a bar 2.5 inches lower. And we'll just deadlift her up. Monday remains our speed day, but we are purposely going to choose the vectors that improve back pressure and pronation, all the primary movements for a top roll. We'll follow that up with our typical wrist work with the same vector, doing the reverse vectors with the same handle. Monday evenings, we're back to isometrics, but we are going to stick with the wrist wrench. But this time we are going to be using our wrist wraps to start developing more power while pulling in the straps. Monday is a fairly light isometric day. We're going to try to hit 4 sets of a 7 to 10 count. Okay, the vectors we will be concentrating on for speed day and volume day. Max day vectors I don't change. There's enough of them, I just roll through it. But developing or specializing on training for a top roll, the classic one that everybody does, sometimes it's a karate belt, but it's just a towel, right? Ooh, haha, way too much weight for this demonstration video. So we will, on our speed day, all right, on our speed day, just a classic towel one. It comes over your knocking knuckles, but we will train classic back pressure and a classic rolling. So speed days and volume days will be some combination of this with the towel. Another vector will be basically the same, only we will use a real thin strap. This is counterintuitive, but I really like this closed fist thin strap work, just because people don't typically do it, and it's slippery, so it forces you to grip it. But same thing, you can come back, you can come over. Obviously there's a supinating version, but we're not going to be concentrating on that. We're working on top rolls. And of course we'll do the classic multi-spinner, and we will do a variation to the multi-spinner made out of a 2x4. So the band comes over, we'll grip it like this, okay? Kind of puts you into that style of grip. We'll grip it like that, and you know, classic backwards, classic sideways. You want to train how to pull in the straps? Get your normal weightlifting wrist wraps. Clamp that on. If you want, lower it beneath that wrist bone, which is about all the lower you should ever put the strap. You put the strap any lower than that and it just slides up, especially if your arms are shaped like bowling pins, like they should be after you've arm wrestled for a few years. But get the strap low, grab your wrist wrench in the classic fashion. And now this applies whether you're pulling pad to pad, peg to peg, corner to corner. We're going to demonstrate pad to pad just for the ease of this. But then you wrap your wrist wrap against that handle. Okay. Now, force is coming here like it normally is in the strap. The hand's used to stabilize that. But what you'll see is you can compromise that wrist, fold that wrist back, and train powering through there, right? So, oh, I think I'm going to top roll. Oh, but the Ukrainian's better than me. And he flipped my hand over. Oh, but this is what I'm going to come back, because people don't train that. This is how you train if you lost your hand in the strap. This is also how you train strap work. All right? Keep your hand flat, powers on the strap, and just learn to pull back. You know, pull with your straps. Hit with your strap motion. No big change to Tuesday night. We stick with our pull-ups on that 4.5-inch bar. I hate those pull-ups on the 4.5-inch bar, but they are so effective. I'm just going to grind them out and do them. I'm going to do them on a wave this time. I'm going to try to do volume on them, but I'll do a lightweight, medium weight, heavyweight day. The biggest change on Tuesdays is Tuesday evenings after we do a JM press. We followed up with the strap hammer curls, but we are switching from barbell to equivalent dumbbells. I'm going to actually be using plates. Those plates will swing around a lot more. It'll really try to knock the elbow off axis. It forces complete elbow development, and wobbly weights on both the hammer curls and, as you'll see later on these other machines, on these other exercises, gives you that all-around, just unrelenting elbow strength in any angle and any axis if someone's jerking you around. And if you really want to develop world-class FU power sideways, you gotta have an elite elbow. Wobbly weights are going to lead us to elite elbows. The hammer curls are now no longer on a barbell. Arm wrestling strap, so it's a closed grip, and it is just boom, boom, hammer curl. Okay, closed grip hammer curl. Hits the wrist, hits that rising motion, and with these plates swinging around, it gives you a wobble, it gets a wobbly effect in there. So you are now working, the muscles that stabilize everything, because it's not a stable weight. Pretty simple, very effective. There's not many changes for Wednesday or Thursday worth talking about. Friday morning remains basically the same, except for the adjustment to top rolling vectors. Friday evening, we are changing the riser and supinated rows from a fat, comfortable towel to a very thin, uncomfortable, closed fist version. On our rows, on our two-handed rows, which is Friday evening, which is just mostly work capacity, anything that works the back, we will again switch to, I was using the big towel, the open hand towel, but the variation that we'll be using on Friday evenings is again closed strap. There we will do our rows in the riser, and we'll follow it up with the supinating version. Saturday has a pretty big change. We are now doing our JM press volume with wobbly weights. A wise man once said, if you want world-class FU power, you need a world elite level elbow. Wobbly weights build elite level elbows. As that weight starts swinging around, it very closely approximates an arm wrestling match where you have an opponent that's trying to hit you in multiple different directions. And the ability to have your elbow strong in all those directions and the ability to recover from it gives you unbelievable power. And that's what we're shooting for here. JM presses. Now done wobbly weights. Okay? We'll be doing the JM presses with 100, so under 135 pounds, but 50 pounds of it will be swinging from straps. One on each side. Oops. Okay? I put the plates to keep them balanced at the very end of the curl. Again, it allows those weights to swing, makes the barbell unstable. So you got to do, you're incorporating all the muscles on your normal JM press, you know, when you come down, but now that bar's swinging around, so you now have to stabilize it. So, typical JM press with the wobbly weights. See that bar's trying to wiggle all over the place? Come down into your normal JM press. Pause, push it up. Come down, pause, push it up. The intention there, work that whole elbow joint. We'll do the normal classic JMs, which is 2 fingers smooth, 2 fingers knurl. The wide grip, which I didn't invent or discover, but I'm just popularizing. Same way, elbows out to your side. I have to raise those straps because those weights hit the floor. So it almost unloads and then forces up. Maybe I'll leave that. And then of course the narrow. 2 fingers on the knurl, 2 fingers on the smooth. Whew! Now it's really unstable because the weights are way at the end and I've got less leverage because I'm grabbing the middle of the bar. But pause, push that up. You always come down till your forearms stop against the bicep. The last thing we're changing on this routine is some hand work. We're going to be using a tennis ball like I saw John Brezink do, so we're just shamelessly copying him at this point. We'll be doing it statically, and I'll be doing it like John at work, sitting at my desk, usually during Zoom meetings or something of the sort. Tennis ball work. I had these at the office. I squeeze the ball for time, keeping the thumb flat. Just hold that, okay? Load it in there. Keep the thumb flat. Flex that, okay? Hold that for time. You know, that's 2-3 minutes-ish is where I'm training it. Then follow that up, squeezing the ball flat. So you get into a neutral wrist position, squeeze those fingers as far as you can, maintain it, right? Like you're at the table waiting for the ref to say go. Tennis ball for time.